Tinnitus Retraining Therapy. How to get rid of tinnitus forever. Tinnitus retraining therapy, or TRT, has proven to be a very effective means of dealing with tinnitus. It was developed in the 1980s by Dr. Powell Jastreboff at the University of Maryland. What makes this method significant is the fact that it works by the process known as habituation. This basically means that a person would ignore any sounds that they hear frequently which they considered to be unimportant. Tinnitus retraining therapy has shown some very promising results because it has provided relief for up to 85% of the people who participated in the 12 to 18-month trials. The reason why it was so effective was because it employed a two-pronged approach consisting of the use of sound therapy and counseling by a knowledgeable professional. This method takes into consideration how the multiple structures within the inner ear works and also their relationship with the brain. This is how sound works in a nutshell. When sound hits the ears, it is perceived as sound vibrations, and these sound vibrations will be converted into electrochemical energy within the cochlea, from where it would be transmitted along the acoustic nerve in the form of nerve impulses all the way to the specialized brain cells or auditory centers in the temporal lobes of the brain. It is these auditory centers in the brain which interpret the sounds and determine the relative importance of the sound. Since our brains have this ability, we are able to train our brains to ignore tinnitus sounds. The entire process involved to achieve this is what is known as tinnitus retraining therapy. TRT is a very natural way of dealing with tinnitus, but there are so many other effective and risk-free natural ways of solving tinnitus because they do not involve any kind of medical synthetic drugs, which might leave you with more than you bargained for in terms of nasty side effects. And this would be one of the main reasons for the push towards natural cures for tinnitus. You can find more information in our free ebook, which will reveal to you the best and most effective ways to deal with tinnitus to finally silence those annoying sounds forever. Our free tinnitus remedies guide is definitely worth it, and you can get fast access to it at the end of this very short video. For many of us, tinnitus seems to be a nagging problem that never wants to go away no matter what we do to try to get some relief. In every part of the world you will find more cases of people with tinnitus more than ever before. And it isn't very clear what the exact reason might be. However, with the advancement of technology of all types, it is possible to finally do something about this rise in tinnitus cases. One of the major contributors of this condition would be bad eating habits, which leads to declining health. Did you know that our minds ignore any continuous noises or sounds that it considers unimportant? And it only focuses on these sounds when you choose to hear them. So how does sound therapy and TRT actually work? It works by introducing a new intrusive sound, or NIS, to your ears, but it has to be a constant low-level white noise, which is less intense than the sound in your head. The new sound is very steady and constant, so our brain first analyzes it to determine if it is a threat or warning of danger. Also, since this sound is faint by comparison to other environmental sounds, the brain determines that it is not a threat and automatically ignores it as unimportant, so this sound is pushed into the background. After this new low-level sound is pushed away, your conscious mind then switches focus and actively listens to other sounds. By doing this, the brain is being trained to ignore all the unimportant sounds in the ears and head. This process takes time, but it produces great results. Consult a doctor. One of the first things that needs to be done before tackling this problem is for a doctor to get the historical facts of the patient. And this helps to narrow down the possible causes of the tinnitus. This initial process also serves to determine the severity of the patient's hearing impairment, and also getting an idea of their tolerance to any intrusive sounds. Getting the historical facts also allows the doctor to evaluate their medical records to make sure that the condition is not related to any undetected health problems such as anemia, hypertension, or Meniere's disease caused by foreign objects being blocked or lodged in the patient's ear canals. During this session, the doctor can now determine if TRT is the correct treatment for the patient's condition. Professional counseling. Professional counseling is a very important part of tinnitus retraining therapy. Further studies have shown that using sound therapy alone produces far less improvements in the diminishing of tinnitus than when used in combination with sound therapy and professional counseling. The reason why professional counseling is needed was to remove any negative emotions which are associated with tinnitus, and some of these include anxiety, stress, and fear. Also, understanding the roles of the auditory system and the brain definitely plays an important part in removing fear associated with tinnitus. TRT is now accepted by a lot of physicians who practice mainstream medicine. It is now considered as a very viable treatment for patients who are suffering from anxiety and tinnitus. But the one major drawback with TRT is the costs and overall time required in order to get relief. Which tinnitus masker should you use? The tinnitus sufferer can make the choice as to which form of masker or white noise generating device is right for them. There are two basic forms of tinnitus masker. The first one is an earphone-like device, and the second is a desktop device. It is up to the patient to decide which option works the best for them. TRT trainers usually recommend that a professional sound-generating device, which is very similar to a hearing aid, be worn 24/7. But aside from the amount of time required, these devices tend to be very expensive, often costing upwards of $2,000. And due to this reason, a lot of tinnitus sufferers have opted to find other means of generating their own pleasant sounds to help alleviate the symptoms. Some of these sounds could be playing soft music, white noise, or nature sounds. As for the timeline required before results can be seen, a period of 12 to 18 months of TRT is recommended for maximum relief. Cases differ from person to person, and some people may experience great results before 18 months. Relief through herbs and other natural methods. There are many different herbs that have been found to ease tinnitus symptoms, and one of the most widely known ones is called ginkgo biloba. This herb is widely used all across Asia and other parts of the world to produce great results for people whose tinnitus was caused by poor blood circulation. Other well-known natural cures for tinnitus include other herbs like wild hyssop, wild oats, coneflower, also known as echinacea, vitamin B, periwinkle, vitamin A, and choline. These natural methods are favored by most people since they don't involve the use of medical drugs, which potentially come with a whole lot of adverse side effects. They are highly regarded as very powerful ways to deal with tinnitus. Do you want the complete guide to tinnitus natural remedies? Would you like to learn how to diagnose what type of tinnitus you have, and also discover what is actually causing your tinnitus and the exact steps to eliminate it forever? Simply download our free ebook to learn a 3-step cure that effectively banishes tinnitus for good. Just click the link in the description to download your copy, available now. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos with tips to help you get rid of tinnitus and more. And we'll see you in the next video.